Hello everyone, with Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Friday evening, August 16, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your coworkers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what that's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future, though they're in your specific area. Alright, so the big news on everyone's tongue or lips today is the earthquake that shook sections of Jamaica today. So according to the earthquake unit, that's the local officials in Jamaica regarding seismic activity, a moderate earthquake of preliminary magnitude 5.3 located approximately 6 kilometers northeast of Golden Spring, St. Andrew, was reported as felt at 8:01 a.m. on Friday, August 16, 2024. So that's the UA Mona earthquake unit. But as relates to what the United States Geological Survey stated, as the USGS, we know that's the major global official source that usually revises information that comes from UA or wherever. They stated that it was more so a light 4.5 earthquake that struck 10 kilometers northeast of Stony Hill, Jamaica, around the same spot at 8:01 a.m. So we know the drill. Light earthquakes are likely felt, and we know moderate earthquake, there might be some minor damage similar to the one that occurred in October 2023. Definitely a strong earthquake in general, definitely felt across the majority of the island today, but not much damage reported. And we even have the comments coming in confirming. As a matter of fact, we had cinnamon underscore toast underscore crunch 09 stating, so why are we not getting the phone alerts anymore? I actually appreciated the alerts the moment the earthquake starts. And I definitely responded with the right response. What we need to understand regarding the Google Android alert system is that latter earthquakes, particularly those below 5.0 magnitude, generally cause minimal to no damage and are often not felt by most people. Because of this, Google Android's alert system does not typically send out notifications for these smaller, less impactful quakes. This approach helps prevent alert fatigue, ensuring that when users do receive an alert, it's for an event that could genuinely pose a threat to safety. So that's one of the main reasons why most persons didn't get an alert like 5 seconds before it happened, like the earthquake in October 2023. It was not a 5.0. If it was a 5.0 or more, the Google Android alert system would have sent out the alert at least 5 seconds before it actually happened. So we're going to be working with what the USGS stated. It was a light 4.5, especially considering that even the earthquake unit themselves stated that it was a preliminary magnitude of 5.3, and we know these magnitude strengths always are revised later on down the road. So we're always going to be working with what the USGS is saying. Either way, we definitely had a lot more comments coming in from some of our followers. Dr. C underscore Johnson stating Kingston heard it more than felt it. La Belle Femme JA stating in Kingston. Red Shack underscore Kira stating all me know, me grab up my baby and run. Couldn't think about nothing else to hold me frightened. Goddess underscore Beauty underscore Queen stating heard it Yalla St. Thomas. And finally, Kiki Mac in Mandeville and the Nail Slayer Montego Bay. So it was definitely felt as far as even some western parishes in Jamaica. If we take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather look. Alright, so this just came out as soon as we reloaded the page at 7:31 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:31 p.m. Jamaica time. And we can see that there's nothing else highlighted but Hurricane Ernesto. And Ernesto is still a Category 2 hurricane, packing maximum sustained winds of 100 miles per hour, and he's moving towards the northeast at 11 knots or 13 miles per hour. And we can see satellite image right here with the eye right there trying to clear out, and it's already starting to bear down with some bad weather on Bermuda. And this is the journey that it took, definitely to the northwest, to the north of Puerto Rico, and then curving around that ridge of high pressure. And then we know the trough is definitely trying to grab it and pull it northward, but there has been some time differences with the trough and what would have happened. So I guess it missed the trough and it's going to be slowing down a bit, and then it's going to be catching up to another trough. So we can see that the tropical storm force winds have already begun to bear down on the Bermuda in the gold colors. The hurricane force winds are right there in the burgundy colors, and they're definitely going to be getting that as the night progresses. And we can see the track right here definitely pushing towards the northeast across Bermuda and missing the northeastern portions of North America by around Monday into Tuesday. So hopefully it stays offshore and not affect land anymore. Either way, if we take a look right here at See Jamaica's YouTube channel, they were actually showing a live stream. I don't know if it's still up or if it has gone down, because we know the bad weather is it's still up. So this is showing Bermuda's live footage showing all the rainfall pushing in. Can definitely see there's about 45 persons watching as we speak. Definitely getting lashed, a lot of showers right there affecting portions of Bermuda. It's only a matter of time before the power is out and the stream is down. So keep in mind that if you have friends or relatives in Bermuda, please ensure that you contact them, because the power is going to be out soon. They're not going to be able to contact you, whatever the case may be. It's just going to be a very bad situation. We know it's a Category 2 hurricane, so there's definitely going to be some amount of damage, power outages for sure. So we're experiencing Ernesto right now. We know the next name on the list is Francine, and we might just have Francine very soon. According to this post from Ben Knoll, if you don't know who Ben Knoll is, he's actually a meteorologist at the National Institute for Water and Atmospheric Research in New Zealand, and from time to time he makes some accurate posts about the Atlantic hurricane season. And I remember in May he made a post about what would have happened in terms of rising air in June, and that was what brought us Beryl, and now he's showing something similar for the coming weeks. So he stated, what's next for the Atlantic after Ernesto? Patterns of enhanced convection over Africa will fuel some formidable tropical waves in the weeks ahead. Overall, this represents favorable intra-seasonal forcing as we head toward the peak of hurricane season 2024. So he's stating that the greens and the blues within the greens are going to be, representing upward motion, a lot of rising air. So clouds definitely developing into possible systems, and it's being shown right here across Africa for the coming weeks from now all the way up into the peak of hurricane season. So these tropical waves are definitely going to be having a higher chance of becoming tropical depressions, tropical storms, hurricanes as they push towards the west across the Atlantic. So be prepared. We know how bad these systems can get. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see the ridge of high pressure right here to the north that we know is responsible for sending all of these systems from east to west across the Atlantic. We see a tropical wave right here across the eastern Caribbean, another tropical wave right here equidistant from Africa and the Caribbean, another tropical wave right here off the coast of Africa. We can also see Ernesto right there to the north of the Caribbean. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can see the clouds associated with Ernesto spinning away. We can see the clouds associated with that tropical wave definitely doing a number on the Leeward Islands and the northern Windward Islands. We can see the clouds associated with that other tropical wave, most of which is squashed to the south across the intertropical convergent zone. And we can also see the other clouds associated with that other tropical wave right there off the coast of Africa. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean a bit later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Friday, August 16. It was stated that we would have received some rainfall across sections of some eastern parishes in the morning, Then across sections of some northern and western parishes during Friday afternoon. I know eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, so Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall. So St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. While northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on top. So Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, and Portland. And what ended up happening? As early as 11:20 a.m. So I guess it was late morning. We saw that eastern Jamaica was starting to get in on its fair share of the rainfall as the Cuban Doppler radar images were posted, and they highlighted the greens and the yellows within the greens that represent some light to moderate to even slightly heavy rainfall across eastern Jamaica. So definitely St. Thomas and Portland got in on that morning rainfall as this post was made here at around 11:20 a.m. By the way, keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but on our Instagram page at Weather.Jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. And then at around 1:25 p.m., the infrared satellite image was posted and highlighted some clouds bringing some isolated thunderstorms to sections of some northern parishes. So definitely sections of Hanover, St. James, portions of Trelawney, even some western portions of the island, Westmoreland, northwestern St. Elizabeth, portions of Portland, St. Mary were getting in on the isolated thunder shower activity. And then again, another post was made at 5:45 p.m. highlighting how the clouds pushed from east to west into St. Anne, Trelawney, section of St. James, still getting on some thunderstorms even before the majority of the weather was winding down. So we even see that we still had some clouds left over across Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth right there at that time. And we definitely have confirmation from some of our followers. One here on our Twitter page, Courtney Stone, stating rain falling heavily in Montego Bay right now, and this was posted at 1:40 p.m. And we even have a Legister dot underscore confirming the rainfall in his area. Thunderstorm in Hanover, and this was posted 4 hours ago as well. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely see what took place. We had more of those low level flow coming in from the east southeast, more so from the southeast on the central to the western side of the island, and majority of the clouds piled up across northern and western parishes, and that was what was predicted yesterday, and that was exactly what unfolded today. So, like the areas across the corporate area in the southeast, Kingston, didn't get much in the way of rainfall as we see right here on See Jamaica's YouTube channel. Definitely sunny, but the most part, maybe partly cloudy in some spots. By the way, if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube. If you don't know by now, we have a partnership with this channel. That's why we're always showing what they're showing right here. And if we take a look at what's happening across Jamaica right now, let's reload these images so that we have the very latest. So the latest image is as of 35 minutes past the hour, so 6:35 p.m. and we still have some leftover clouds right there as represented by the blues and greens across sections of Hanover, Westmoreland, some sparkling white dust that indicates some lightning flashes, if not lightning strikes, across the waters to the west of Negril. And if we take a look at the latest Cuban Doppler radar image, we can actually see that rainfall right there to the west of Negril. The greens, the yellows, they represent some light to moderate to heavy rainfall. And keep in mind that this image, this latest one, just came out at 7:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 6:40 p.m. Jamaica time. So they definitely got in on that rainfall across Western Jamaica, and they're still getting in on some rainfall out to sea as we speak. If we take a look at what's happening right now across Crossroads, we don't see much happening either way. Night is going to be fair. Stars going to be out. Not much in the way of bad weather at all. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can say we have 28 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Saturday, temperature should dip down to about 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is showing 18 on Saturday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Saturday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some orange colors that represents up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures, as we can see by the key on the right. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of August across Jamaica are about the same as 91 degrees Fahrenheit, about the same as July's normal temperatures. 91 degrees Fahrenheit when calculated is about 32.8 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 34 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on a Saturday. So please ensure that you stay out of the sun during peak hours and you stay hydrated. If we take a look here at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Saturday, we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some Saharan dust. We see the browns touching all the way from Africa across the main development region into the Caribbean. All of this pushing from east to west, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure to the north. What we're glad for is that we don't see that vigorous plume, that very darker shade of brown that we know can cause very hazy skies and definitely trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses, asthma, sinusitis in person. But we know that this can definitely still do a lot, so please ensure that you have your meds handy. So we still have the 0.5 for meter wave heights, 1.5 meter wave heights, stretching anywhere from the western Caribbean to the eastern Caribbean, as represented by the light shades of blues to dark shades of blues. That's what's being forecasted for Saturday. While the highest waves should be where Ernesto is located across Bermuda tomorrow, where we see these purples, these burgundy colors, these orange colors that represent anywhere from up to 2 to 9 meter wave heights. So it all makes sense because the winds are going to be strongest in those spots as well. We see that dull greens to bright greens across the Caribbean that represents anywhere from 10 to 20 knot winds coming in from the east. But what we see to the north of there is the winds moving in a counterclockwise fashion around Ernesto. And we see the intensity in the wind speeds, the yellows, oranges, reds, purples that represents all the way up to anywhere from 25 to 60 knot winds, all the way up to category 2 strength winds. So it makes sense that the highest waves are in those spots. But as it relates to what's being forecasted across Jamaica for tomorrow, we see that the winds are not going to be that strong at all. This is the forecast for Saturday coming in from the east, and we also see that the air is going to be piling up across sections of some central and western parishes in Jamaica. So we might just have something similar to what we had in yesterday's weather. So Thursday's weather, maybe some afternoon isolated thunderstorms for sections of some mainly central western parishes, but we can't rule out some of that for some western portion of eastern Jamaica as well, maybe section of St. Andrew, Kingston right there. And with the upper level winds coming in more so from the east northeast tomorrow, it's definitely going to be favoring more of the overcast skies across sections of some southern parishes. So if we take a look at where the rainfall is expected tomorrow, we see that both the Euro and the GFS malls are in consensus that for Saturday afternoon, keep in mind that this is valid for 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. We see the blues represent rainfall stretching across western Jamaica, central Jamaica, and even portion of eastern Jamaica. So maybe sections of western Portland, northwestern St. Thomas, section of Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Mary, St. Anne, St. Catherine, sections of Clarendon, sections of St. Anne, if I didn't say that yet, Trelawney, Northern Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Southern St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS malls are in consensus with this forecast, and even the accumulated precipitation forecast maps are showing some amount of rainfall within the next 24 hours, even although the GFS is a bit more robust than the Euro. Euro showing up to at least 0.32 of an inch of rainfall, GFS showing up to at least 0.56 of an inch of rainfall. Either way, we'll take it. We're in the month of August. We can see Kingston's bar graph right here at the top, Montego Bay's bar graph right here at the bottom. Kingston usually receives almost 100 millimeters of rainfall during the month of August. That's almost 4 inches of rainfall. Montego Bay usually receives almost 125 millimeters of rainfall during the month of August. That's almost 5 inches of rainfall. And you can visit weatherandclimate.com to find out about the annual rainfall for your specific parish. And you can do the math yourself, considering this graphic right here that shows 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. So you can do the calculations for yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we can see the clouds pushing into portions of Bermuda. Definitely going to be going downhill with the bad weather tonight. Strong winds, heavy rainfall, power outages, damaging winds that causes down trees, down power lines, whatever the case may be. We can see the clouds bring some thunderstorms to sections of the Leeward Islands as we speak, associated with the tropical wave. We can also see the usual thunderstorms across sections of Central America, Haiti, Cuba, and Northern South America. And if we take a look at what's going on across the northeastern Caribbean, so let's see what's going on right now. Let's reload these images to see what's going on. We can see right here, if it's gonna be loading for me. Let's see. Give it a second. Alright, in the meantime, let's take a look at the Barbados radar. We see some dots of rainfall in and around Barbados. Not much in the way of heavy rainfall, but we do see some isolated spots, some green, some blues, especially to the west and east of Barbados, some of which is pushing in more of a southeasterly fashion from southeast to northwest. You can also see some rainfall right there across section of Guadeloupe and to the east of Dominica, but that's just about it. And if we scroll down now to the northeastern Caribbean, we do see that rainfall associated with the tropical wave to the north of Dominica. So Guadeloupe, Antigua, and Barbuda getting in on the mix. But we don't see much happening across Puerto Rico, the Eastern British Virgin Islands, or St. Martin at all. If we take a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall across sections of the Yucatan Peninsula, section of Guatemala, Belize, sections of Colombia, northern Venezuela, section of southern Florida too. And as relates to where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, all courtesy of the tropical wave, there's going to be more rainfall anywhere from Dominica northward. So Guadeloupe, Antigua and Barbuda, Anguilla, Puerto Rico, sections of Haiti, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Bahamas, Florida. We can also see some rainfall in store for sections of the Cayman Islands, sections of Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, section of Colombia, Venezuela, and we also see some rainfall in store, maybe some isolated spots for sections of coastal areas of Suriname and Guyana. And we know that when both maps from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus like this, the chances of actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.